Welcome back to my channel for scary and mind-bending stories. We all love strange stories because somehow, somewhere we experience our own glitches. Tell me which story is your favorite, or what type of stories you like to more on this channel. Share your story and have it featured in my next collection. Send your stories to storyscary152@gmail.com, and don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel. I'm harleyjak on Reddit, and I'm waiting for SpaceX. You might think, what has this got to do with the glitch in the Matrix? I'd spent the morning mowing the yard, trimming bushes, and edging a long driveway and sidewalk. It was 90 degrees under the hot Florida sun, and it was time for a water break and a bit of lunch. During the lunch break, I was able to clean my glasses and change my sweat-soaked t-shirt before resuming my yard work. I had another hour to go before the rocket launch, and I needed to haul the debris I'd created to the curb for pickup. I live on Florida's east coast, about 30 miles due north of Cape Canaveral. On a clear day, you have an excellent view of the rocket launches from my neighbor's dock. The dock sits on the edge of Spruce Creek, a large tributary extending westward from the Intracoastal Waterway. The night launches are spectacular, and we often join our neighbors for cocktails on the dock when a night launch is scheduled. On this particular day, the launch was scheduled for just after 2:00 p.m. It was a cloudy day with high heat. Weather like this usually brings more clouds and rain, so I thought the chances of a launch were low, much less one that I could see through the billowing clouds. But I've seen hundreds of rockets launched, and I'm always hopeful. I finished my chores, so I grabbed a bottle of water from the fridge and headed to the dock. It was about 10 minutes to lift off, and I was sitting there all alone. The teak chairs on my neighbor's dock are large, heavy, and comfortable. I looked to the southeast, towards a large pine tree in the distance. The rockets have always appeared about 5 degrees on either side of that tree when beginning their ascent. Now, this is when the glitch in the Matrix shows up. I relaxed my eyes and looked for openings in the clouds. My vision extended upwards on the trajectory I imagined the SpaceX rocket would take. Suddenly, something changed in my vision. I could see the L-shaped sweat smudge on my prescription glasses, as if it was under a microscope. My eyes were super focused on a dirty spot a half-inch from my retina. This was something new to me. I was locked on, but it felt normal. This was an odd fixation, but not as odd as the background behind the smudge. The entire sky was networked hexagon shapes, anchored with silver spheres. Tiny dotted lines extended from each sphere as the large hexagon shapes interconnected. Everywhere in the cloudy eastern sky, the pattern was the same. It made me think of the Jim Carrey movie, The Truman Show. I was freaking out. Is this real? I asked myself. I observed this phenomenon for at least 5 minutes, all the time wondering if this was a glitch in the Matrix, or could I be looking at the inside of my eyeballs? I scanned each hexagon to see if there was any unusual movement out there. I didn't detect any. I thought that a couple of the connecting strands looked different than the others. I was pondering this when my trance was broken by my dock-oming neighbor as she shouted from her back lanai, "Hey Jack, the guy on TV said the launch was canceled for today." I turned to look at her, and just like that, the smudge was out of focus and the network dissolved. The Artemis rocket launch is scheduled today at 2:17 p.m. I can't wait to try and recreate this experience. Hi, I'm anonymous on Reddit. Okay, so I'm posting this here to get some others' opinions. I've recently been discussing this with a friend who happens to be super into spiritual stuff, but I don't know what to think. When I was a kid, all the way through into my teenage years, I'd have this really weird kind of deja vu, except it was more intense than that. All of a sudden, I'd feel this weird sensation. My body would get warm, and I'd feel a bit sort of spaced out. Then I'd hear weird music in my head, overpoweringly loud. I'd lose track of everything around me and just hear this music. I can't recall what the music is, but it's just music. Then my head would feel fuzzy, and after that, I'd come back round. However, the music would continue to play in the background, and from that point, for a few minutes after the experience, I could recall what was about to happen before it did, like deja vu. When you think, it feels like this already happened, but I could actually predict what was about to happen. After a few minutes pass, and I stop being able to predict the following events, the music will fade and I would spend the rest of the day being violently sick. I'd have to run to the bathroom and stay there most of the day. I'd have headaches for hours after too. This happened from a young age all the way to my late teenage years. I'm now 25 and I can't remember the last time it happened. My friend seems to think it is some sort of spirit guide, trying to contact me or some sort of premonitions, but I'm very skeptical about these things. She reckons that as I've got older, grown up, and started a family, I've shut it away, and that's why it no longer happens. Because I've blocked it out. Another friend's mother told me she believes that I have some sort of psychic ability. As I say, I'm a skeptic, so I'm not convinced by these theories. Basically, I just want to know if anyone else has experienced anything like this, or has any opinions of their own about whether this is something supernatural. I'm just intrigued, I guess. This happened from a young age all the way to my late teenage years. I'm now 25, and I can't remember the last time it happened. Thanks for listening. Please comment and tell me what you think of my experiences. Hi there, I'm Lonesomememer on Reddit. My glitch is about a box of chocolate-dipped pretzels that just randomly appeared on my front driveway, and I'm home alone. 4:00 p.m. I look under the car parked in the driveway to pick up a cigarette I dropped. Nothing under there or behind it. 5:04 p.m. A box of dipped chocolate pretzels appears under the same car right behind the rear tire that I had lost about 4 days ago, just randomly decides to spawn by the car. Also, my house is haunted. My grandma passed away in my house, and one time I was sleeping in the room she had slept in when she was alive. My cat randomly started hissing like something was attacking him, and he started screaming and attacking midair. And then my doorknob started loudly, aggressively rattling and shaking as if exactly someone were aggressive, turning it back and forth. Gallon jugs of water and milk sitting on the counter have been all of a sudden pushed off the counter by an invisible, unknown force. Now keep in mind these are gallons. And then there are the times, it could be 3, I've heard my name called when no one was in the house. And the time I heard extremely loud crashing that woke me up out of my sleep that was right behind me, only to discover nothing fell and everything was in place. I don't know, just wanted to share my experience with the world. Let me be more descriptive. 3 days after this encounter. Picture this in your head. I and my friend are sitting inside this Jeep with a box of chocolate-dipped pretzels in my driveway, eating them. Then they get misplaced somewhere and are never seen again. Then roughly 4 days later, and I'm outside smoking a cigarette in my driveway, and I drop it under the Jeep, so I go and pick it up. I distinctly remember there were no objects near or under the Jeep, and this is my proof that I did not see anything because it was only an hour before I had seen the chocolate-dipped pretzels appear. Roughly an hour later, the very same red box of chocolate-dipped pretzels all of a sudden appears behind the rear left wheel when I walk outside. DM for pic recreation. I did not take pics at the moment because it did not occur to post it. I stumbled upon a post under this subreddit, then realized I had just had a glitch in the matrix and posted it. Hi, I'm Enlightened 222 on Reddit. Did my blueberries glitch? With the F? OMG, I just took a handful of blueberries and left the rest of the package on the counter. I know this for a fact because I forgot to close the fridge, and it made a beeping sound before I walked out of the kitchen, and so I had to go back to close it, and I remember thinking, I won't put the blueberries back because I want more after going to the bathroom. I see the blueberries in the same place on the counter, and so they are not in the fridge when I close it, but when I go to the bathroom and back then, they're somehow in the fridge, and what makes it strange is I live alone. Hi there, I'm Aaron_Wall on Reddit. Wow, that's weird. Where is everyone? I just want to start this by describing my neighborhood so you understand why this was weird for me. I live in a medium-sized Pennsylvania coal town. I live on a very busy main road that has entrances to highways and an industrial park about half a mile down the road from my house. If you go the opposite direction of the on-ramps and industrial park, you start going deeper into town. About a quarter mile that way is a methadone clinic attached to a Dollar General. There are bus stops and residences up and down the entire street. The industrial park has traffic from trucks and people going to work at all hours of the day. The methadone clinic has people lining up outside starting at about 5 a.m. Anyway, this morning I go to get coffee around 8 a.m. The coffee shop is a few miles away, so I get in the car and bring my dog with me. I pull out and there were no cars behind me, no cars in front of me. No one at any of the bus stops, no pedestrians, no one was anywhere. I drive past the methadone clinic, and it's completely empty, with not a single person. I glance at my dog and say, wow, that's weird. Where is everyone? As soon as I say that, I drive over the crest of a small hill and can see the other side. It was like everything was normal again. There were people walking around, cars driving everywhere, and people at the bus stops. It was like the people didn't load this morning until I said something. On no_Wolverine_1491 on Reddit. So around April 2020, I and my dad went to this road nearby called Churchard. supposedly to see the river. I took a bunch of pictures with a camera I had with me, and I could swear on my knees there was a river on the road. So today we were driving on that road again because the one we usually take is blocked off due to construction. We live in a rural area, but not too far from town, about 5 miles from town. Anyways, we were on the road, and I was waiting to see the river as we drove, but there was no river, no sign of it, and not even any signs of natural water. How could this be if I remember seeing a river on this exact road and taking pictures? Is there an explanation for this? I don't think it's bad memory because I vividly remember it being on this road. Please help me. This is freaking me out. I'm anonymous on Reddit, prescribed medication for an illness I didn't yet have. This story is a few years old, but I can never stop thinking about it. Back around 2016-ish, I was a poor student. One day I woke up with, TMI thrush. Since I was a struggling student, I didn't have any money to pay for treatment, so I called my grandmother, who transferred £5 into my account to get something. I went to the pharmacy, and everything was over £5. Since I was already there, I thought I'd go somewhere else and pick up my repeat prescription since I believed it was overdue. I asked the pharmacy assistant for my prescription, and she gave it to me, except the bag felt quite heavy for what was supposed to just be 1 pack of tablets, so I checked the bag, and inside was thrush treatment. I went back to the counter and explained that I don't have this treatment on my prescription, just my tablets, which were for migraines. She then looked through my account, turned the screen to me, and showed me the prescription my GP made for me 3 months prior for thrush treatment. I hadn't been to my GP for probably a year at that point, so I have no idea why my GP would have prescribed that for me. I mean, it was great because that's exactly what I needed at that moment. When I first realized what she gave me, I thought she might have seen me looking at treatment and figured that's what I needed, so may have just given it to me. But she showed me the prescription made by my GP ages before. I don't think I'll ever have an answer to how this happened, but I guess something was looking out for me at that moment. I'm AParadiseCircle on Reddit, and I saw the same woman in different stores, but the time frame isn't possible. I'm gonna cut straight to the chase on this one. About 2 weeks ago, I just finished returning a pair of headphones to Big Lots because they were child size. When I walked out of the store, this older woman walked into Big Lots. We passed each other outside. I enjoy complimenting random strangers when I go out, and so I commented to her that I like her dress. It was a pretty dress. She said, "Thank you. I like your pants." I had on these rather bolo pants that day. Anyway, I go to my car and instantly drawn to Goodwill to see if there was anything worthwhile there. I am opening up a holistic center, and I like to check Goodwill to see if there is anything I can use. When I enter the store, I instantly walk toward the back, bypassing all the clothes. Then I see the same older woman wearing the same dress, with a shopping cart of a few missed things she found in Goodwill. I did not stop at any other stores between Big Lots and Goodwill. I did not take a while in my car. I instantly started it and drove down the road to the Goodwill. It's only about 2 minutes away by car. I made a right-hand turn onto Transit after leaving Big Lots, and a right-hand turn into the parking lot where Goodwill is. The time that elapsed between seeing the woman entering Big Lots and seeing her in Goodwill had to have only been 5 minutes. Even if she instantly turned around and left the store, it makes no sense that she would have not only gotten there before me but also had enough time to shop. She had about 3 to 4 things. I did not notice any time lapse. I do recall looking at the clock before I left Big Lots, and then when I arrived, as the car was shutting off. She didn't speak to me. She saw me though, and she didn't blink twice. No acknowledgement. It won't let me post a photo, but on Google Maps, Bigots and Goodwill, both are on Transit Road in Lockport, NY. Hi, I'm aware for on Reddit, and not quite a glitch in the Matrix, more a glitch in my brain. A few nights ago, I was camping with my family in our tent. I only just got back from the trip yesterday. I had recently only just gotten back into Pokemon. Pokemon is brilliant, and you can't tell me otherwise. So one of the nights I was there, it was pitch black. I and my parents share a room in the tent. It's a massive tent, so I'm in one bed while my parents are in the other next to me, but facing the other way, so feet to head, and head to feet. Anyways, one night I got a really bad headache. I was busy the day we arrived, so it was hard work setting everything up. So I blamed that for the headache. Anyways, it was pitch black, I couldn't see anything, and as if it was sleep paralysis, except I was awake and could move. I legit could have sworn I was seeing the apparitions of various Pokemon. It was driving me crazy as the headache was getting worse, and the weird-ass Pokemon apparitions were just there, hovering, Flying types, I assume. I had to turn my phone on for some light to get my head straight, which fixed the Pokemon problem. Then took about 10 minutes to muster the courage and asked my dad for some headache medicine. 2 o'clock at night, and they were asleep. Only happened the one night, yet I remember it so clearly. Hi, I'm Jero_Rengolf on Reddit, and of how my towel disappeared, and then it didn't. This happened 2 weeks ago, and I still can't get it out of my mind. I brought my golf bag into the house to go through it, clean it out, clean my clubs, and reorganize the bag pockets. I put my bag in the Jeep the next morning to go golfing, and when I got to the course to put my bag on the cart, my towel and the fresh towel were both on the clip on my bag. I asked my wife and daughters if they pulled a prank on me, but they were all just as shocked as I was that it was on my bag. No explanation as to where it went and how it got back in my bag. It was so weird and makes no sense. There's no way we all missed the towel on my bag. No other explanation than it must have been a glitch in the Matrix. Hi, I'm Sawily on Reddit, and I saw the same girl pass by me twice as I was on a walk with my boyfriend, and we saw this girl pass by us. I took a good look at her. She had black leggings, a light blue and red jacket, medium-length brown hair. She looked young, maybe 15 or so. Anyways, we keep walking, and not even 10 minutes later we see her pass by us again. Same girl, same clothes. She would have had to turn around and walk by us, and then turn around again to walk towards us, and if she somehow went in a circle to come back around, the same way she was coming before, she would have to run faster than humanly possible. It would be way too far for her to get back around. I have no clue how she walked by us twice. She wasn't running or walking fast at all. For the rest of our walk, I was trying to figure out ways how she got in front of us again so fast, and I can't think of any logical ones. Did someone pick her up in a car, drive her back around, and let her out? But that would make no sense. I really cannot figure out how she got there. Hi, I'm xZombieDuckx on Reddit, and I have 2 experiences of my childhood. So I want to share 2 similar experiences of my childhood that happened within a gap of a couple of years. First, my parents were divorced, and as a kid, I would sleep with my dad. That night I was sleeping facing my dad. We both faced the same direction. I could not sleep that night. I usually have less trouble sleeping, usually thinking random scenarios, etc., but this was different. It was an uneasy feeling. I could not understand why I was feeling this uneasy, but it just gradually increased. I started to sweat and started to feel scared of what? No idea. But the more I felt like this, the more I coiled myself into a fetal position. Under the blanket, I was sweating more. I felt like someone was trying to pull my soul out of me. Then, shortly after that, I felt a touch of a hand on my back twice. I coiled more into a fetal position and moved toward my dad to feel a sense of security. I did not look back to who it was. I did not open my eyes. It was just the 2 of us in the whole house. Second incident. Basically, the same thing happened. Ended up feeling a touch of a hand on my back twice, like someone tapped twice. I grabbed the courage to look behind me. But no one was there. I still haven't understood what that experience was. We've come to the end of the series of strange stories. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and send your stories to storyscary152@gmail.com.